Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, I will show you how to convert audio files into text files using AssemblyAI's speech to text APIs. So for converting audio files into text file, we need a API key, and we can get that API key by signing in into this AssemblyAI website. I have already done that, and on the home page here you will get the API key. This is all we need to convert audio files into a text file. So let's copy this API key. It's copied now, and now I am going to convert this story audio file into a text file. That means we will get to see the transcript of this story. So for this project, I am going to use Deep Notes Jupyter notebooks. These are like regular Jupyter notebooks only, but with the extra features. So extra features as in we can share these Jupyter notebooks with our friends and colleagues very easily, and even we can invite them to work on our projects. So I have a couple of folders here created, and in the AssemblyAI folder I am going to create my Jupyter notebook. So for creating a Jupyter notebook, we have to click on new project. So project means a Jupyter notebook in the Deep Note. So it has created the Jupyter notebook here. Now we can rename this untitled project to the name that we like. So I am naming it to speech to text, because that is what we are going to do, right? And now let's save the API key that we have copied. So I will define a variable called API key here, and this is my API key. And now we no need to install any extra Python module to access AssemblyAI APIs. That's the beauty about AssemblyAI. All we need is Python's regular request library. That's all we need. And using this request library, we can call the endpoints of AssemblyAI to convert audio files into a text file. Let's copy the audio file URL. So I will click on download MP3, and this is the URL that we require. I am closing this window and come back to the Jupyter notebook, and here I will define a variable called audio URL, and I will paste it here. Okay, so this is ready. Now the actual process starts. The first thing is we need to import requests library, and we need an endpoint to convert audio files into a text file. So that endpoint we can get it from the AssemblyAI documentation, so which is nothing but this URL. And now we need to define headers. So headers has two key and values. One is authorization. So authorization is nothing but our API key. And after that, we need to define what is the content type. So content type is application / JSON. And after that, we need to define the body. So in the body, we need to pass the audio URL. So which is nothing but our audio URL variable. And now let's call this endpoint. Okay, so basically we need to post this audio URL to this endpoint, and it will give us the ID of that transcript. So using that transcript ID, we can get the actual text out of it. So the first step, what is the first step? We need to post this audio to the above endpoint, to the endpoint. In return, it will give you the ID. So using this ID, we can get the actual text of the audio file. So now let's call request.post, and to this post we need to pass the endpoint first, and the body is in the form of JSON. So JSON is equal to body we need to pass, and after that headers is equal to headers. Now let's save this one in the response. Maybe you can simply say response, and now let's run this one. So it ran successfully. If you notice, right, it ran very quickly basically. So you can see the details here, see what are the variables that we have defined and all. That's the beauty of this deep notebook. And now let's print out the response. Okay, 1 second. So you just get to see response 200. We need to convert that into JSON. And now let's rerun this cell. See here, if you see, there are so many fields. You can see the audio URL field here, and similarly we have the ID as well. So this ID is required to get the actual text of the audio file that we have posted. Okay, so let's copy this ID. Okay, now let's define a new endpoint. So this will be this along with the above URL. See here, so slash that one and here this one. So now we need to call the get method using this endpoint and we will get the actual text. So now let's make the API call. Point is ready, and now request dot get endpoint, and we don't need to, because since it is a get method, we don't need to pass any head body here, so we just need the headers. So headers we have already defined in the above. So now let's run this one, maybe this also, do it in the response text variable. Now let's run this one. See, it ran so fast if you noticed it. And now let's do text.json, and if you rerun this one, you will get to see so many fields here. So out of these fields, we are interested in this particular field, which is text. So the text field has the actual text of the audio file. So what I will do is I will simply modify this statement, get text. Now let's rerun this one. See here, let me see here. This is the full text of this audio files, guys. So if you want to confirm it, maybe I will share this URL, audio files URL, and you can run this script and you can verify whether it has actually converted that audio file into text or not. You can verify that. And if you notice here, it's less than 10 lines of code, and this is pretty amazing. So using AssemblyAI, we can very quickly convert audio files into text files. I hope you like this video, and if you have any questions, please mention in the comment section below. And if you want to know more about AssemblyAI, please check out their website. That's it for this video. I will meet you in the next one.